Oh, where'd you go? Okay. Where are you here? All right. Hey,
Hey,
how are you? Thanks so
I'm
much
good.
for coming on. Thank you so, so much. We're so, so excited to hear from you.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be on. You want me to just take it away?
Yeah, just take it away. You can just wing it, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Well, I'm so excited to be on. This is honestly like one of my most favorite things to do. But I'm going to share with you guys tonight. It wasn't always my favorite thing to do. So I have a little of my story and some things for you maybe to think about. I always feel so honored to be on someone else's team call because it just means that they trust what I'm about to say. Just before we start, and as I'm getting started, I'd love for you to just I'm an interactive person. I would love for you to just put in your chat, like, where are you from? What rank you on? How long you've been with Plexus? Just tell me a little bit about my audience that I'm speaking with. I already know that Megan's a great leader, obviously wildly successful. Diane's going to be with us in Tennessee. So excited. Texas, California. So most of my team is in West Virginia, Maine, and Ohio. I have some team obviously all over the country, but those are like my big hubs of teams. Georgia, Alabama, awesome. Senior Gold since May. That's amazing. Wildly successful. So that's awesome. Senior Ruby joined in 2021. So awesome, Ashley. That's amazing. So you guys have so much success on your team. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey. This month is my 10th year anniversary of Plexus, which is just absolutely insane that it's been 10 years. Just a little bit about my timeline. It took me about 11 and a half months to go Emerald. And then it took me about 2.5 years to go gold. To go diamond. I didn't go backwards, but 2.5 years to go diamond. But here's my story. Just to share a little bit, just so you know a little bit about me. So before Plexus, I worked in retail for 10 years, actually loved working retail. I loved being a boss. I ran a lot of Verizon Wirelesses, and I loved it. I loved corporate environment. I had worked up to a position that I could only hire people with college degrees, but I did not have a college degree. I love the corporate environment, but about 10 years into that, job, my kids were getting older and I found myself super disconnected from my kids. And I was working about 40, 50 hours a week away from them. And I found myself disconnected. And so my husband and I prayed about it. He was a musician and he was doing stuff on the sides, but I was like the breadwinner. Like I was making 6 figures. I had the insurance, retirement, all the things. And we really felt like God was calling me to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I quit my job. We saved up, we sold one of our vehicles. I quit my job, started staying at home. I started making like my own laundry detergent, cutting coupons. And it wasn't because I was trying to be healthy. Like I was just doing all the things. And so I did that. We were so broke. And I started babysitting kids. I don't even like kids. I like my own kids, but I started babysitting kids. I started doing all the things. Interim, my mom had been like a network marketer growing up. I was like her Mary Kay assistant in high school. I'd have to go to all the parties and squeeze all the things in the tubes, and I hated it. I was like, this is so stupid. Like I told her, I'm like, this is not my jam. And then she had tried to get me into other companies. I would not do that. My best friend Sonia Dudley, who I joined under in Plexus, she actually got me to join one company. They took me out on a yacht, and the yacht was named Residual, and she got me to go out on this boat, and they wined and dined me, and I joined this company that I was like not passionate about. I'm like, why did I just pay all this money? And it was like a vacation company, and here we are broke. I can't take vacations. Like I'm not passionate about this. And so I quit, and I just told her, I'm like, that's not me. I do nothing to do with network marketing. So anyway, so I was in this interim time of being a stay-at-home mom that was like truly a stay-at-home mom because literally I had no money to leave the house. And that was not like, I wanted to be like, my dream as a child is like, I wanted to be like the trophy wife, like I wanted to just like be like taken care of and, like all just have all the things and not have to work really hard. And so anyways, that just was not the case at this point in our life. But we were paying the bills. God was good. He was showing me a lot of discipline during this time. And my friend, Sonia Dudley, she did it again. She called me and she said, Michelle, this was her first conversation to me. She said, Michelle, if these products do what they say they are going to do, they do. She said, I'm going to the top of the company. And I laughed at her and I said, listen, you can tell me all your stories, but I will never, ever join you. I want nothing to do with that. I almost blocked her several times on social media. Like I was the bad friend. I even purchased Plexus products because I actually wanted to secretly try them because, that's just how it is. Like she was like, tell me all these great things. I actually secretly bought products off of eBay, or eBay or Amazon. I don't remember. One of those, I bought products like secretly off of like a site like that just to try their products. I felt so guilty that I ended up telling her that, calling and telling her, I said, okay, I did like the unthinkable. I tried the products and I said, but don't worry, they don't work. And because I didn't take them. So I didn't actually take the products and I told her that they didn't work. And I'm surprised we're still friends to this day. But anyways, I kept watching her, and 3 months into her journey, she had fibromyalgia, the health, all the things. She had gotten off of all of her medications, and she called me the day she quit her job. 3 months in, she had replaced her full-time income in Plexus in 3 months on Facebook, on social media, like basically doing it like through social media. And here I was, she called me, and I was actually I signed up to be an elf for a play just to make $400. And so here I was, an elf, to make a few $100s. And I was telling her how stupid she was. And she was selling like health and wellness products online. So I am in all of my elf garb, called my husband and I said, listen, do you think I can do this? It feels foolish. She showed me her paycheck. This feels really foolish. I feel like I should give this a try. And so he told me I had to make $50 a month. So the faith and the belief was like not huge in our household. I didn't start this out. I was afraid of everything when I joined. I only had 100 and some Facebook friends. We had just moved to Florida. I did not know a soul. I never posted on Facebook. I had no social media following. I would not be one of those people that you would say is like a dream teamer. Everyone's always like, this is a dream teamer. I'm like, don't discount the quiet people that are afraid of everything, you guys. Those are the people that have big desires. And I was like that quiet person that was afraid of it. I was literally afraid to do charades in front of my kids. I would never even get up and do charades. I was afraid of small dogs. I always say that, but like people have no idea. Plexus in personal growth has made me grow blossom as a person and recognize fears in my life that were controlling me that I didn't understand. I'm talking I was afraid of cats and small dogs. I don't know, my sister made me watch Gremlins growing up. And so I don't know if I just associated them as Gremlins from Scary Movie, but I was fearful, weirdly fearful. I made a fool of myself multiple times. And anyway, so I start Plexus and so I joined. And some of you guys, if you know her, my friend Sonia Dudley, she is a little country bumpkin from Loboville, Tennessee. It just makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that she was successful. She was just that person you looked at, bubbly. When she was around you, she made everyone feel amazing and beautiful and could conquer the world. And I didn't like people that much. I'm an introvert. That just was not, I'm not her personality. And so I joined, and several weeks into it, I hadn't gone silver yet. That's what her thing, just get 3 people. I hadn't got silver yet. And I sat down and I was just had a real moment for me. And I told myself, if I'm going to do this, I have to do this Michelle Thomas way. I can't do this Sonia Dudley way, because Sonia made no sense to me. She was not me. I couldn't be a bubbly, country bumpkin. I'm not that person. I'm from Ohio. We're kind of rude sometimes, and we get hateful because it's snowy. But no, I just wasn't her. And so, and I didn't have the background. She'd been doing network marketing for 18 years. I hated everything about network marketing. And so I had to figure out who I was and who I was going to be in Plexus. And if this was going to be successful for me, it was going to have to be successful on my terms. And so I sat down and I just created a plan. I created a plan of how many times I was going to post on social media. We didn't have IPA sheets back there then. We didn't have all the resources and stuff we had now, but I still value this so much because sometimes those resources and everything that we look at and we're like, that's so much. And I always tell people, listen, calm down, let go of all of the noise and the busyness. At the end of the day, this is still a belly to belly business, and it's all about getting in front of people, and it's all about doing the few things that are going to move you forward every day. And so let go of all of the chatter, let go of all of the other things that you feel overwhelmed by, because you have to commit. You're the only person that can create success for yourself. You can't do it on the coattails of your upline, and you can never blame your downline. Like, you have to do this on your own terms. And if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And I really recognize that so early on. So I sat down, I created a plan for myself, and it was just so simple. Getting all blotchy over here. My husband must have turned up the heat. It's hot. So I created my plan, and I'm a person, the creature of habit. And so that did play well for me, because I really didn't rest until I completed my game plan. And it was a small game plan, you guys. This is like a small game plan. I would reach out to one person a day, and I would post a few times a week on social media. And so I just, from the very beginning, I did not overthink inspiration. I would wake up in the morning, I would remember somebody that I worked with 10 years ago. And people will tell you all the time, oh, like, don't reach out to someone you haven't reached out to, you need to reconnect and find out about their life. And I'm like a bold type of personality. I feel like, to me, that's sleazy, because I don't really need to know. Like, we aren't really friends. We have not been connected for 10 years, but I thought of them for a reason. And so I literally would reach out to me like, hey, so-and-so, hey, Susie, I know we haven't talked in 10 years. I started doing this new thing, and I woke up this morning and I couldn't get you off my mind. Like, I don't know if this is something that God shared with me. I don't know, like, if there's something you need in your life, but like, I just need to tell you about it. And so I just did not overthink inspiration. I definitely feel like that was a big key for me. I also, my upline, she had grown up in her town her whole life. She knew everyone. For me, I was living in somewhere where I didn't know anyone. My whole life at Plexus has been in a cold market. So if you feel like, oh, I don't know anybody where I live, that's just an excuse. I'm telling you right now, if you want it, and I'm going to get to this, and hopefully I have enough time, because I'm like, it's 7:13. I only have like till 7:30. Okay. So I didn't know anybody. So I got on meetup.com. It's still a thing. Meetup.com is still available most everywhere you go. But now it's moved to a lot of Facebook and a lot of groups. But I just looked for networking events. I looked for networking events that I could show up to. And I just started showing up. And the thing I learned, I'll never forget the very first time I showed up to a meetup.com. And it was just like a business networking event where people came and they had their businesses. And I was there like scared of everything, scared of people. And I get like socially awkward, really socially awkward. And sometimes I can say like really weird things. And then I go home and I overthink it to the point where I end up calling someone and apologizing. And they're like, what? I don't understand. I'm like, I don't know. I just felt really stupid. I said something really stupid. That's like my personality. Sonia is me. Okay. So yeah, well, you get me. Okay. You know what I'm saying. So I went to this networking thing and all these people, they just seemed so like businessy. And I was just like there as like a mom and scared and like didn't know what I was doing. And you had to get up and you had to give like a 30-second elevator speech of your business. And I like stood up and I said, I'm with like this company that like helps you like lose weight. And like this was literally like my speech. And like, I'm with a company that like helps you lose weight and like you drink a drink and thank you. And I like sat down and I was scared. I was probably like hyperventilating, whatever. But the guy that ran the meeting, I'll never forget this. He came up to me afterwards and he said, listen, like, you're going to have to get it together in order for anyone to like believe you, because that was horrible. And I'm like, I know, like, I'm so fearful of public speaking. And he's like, well, he goes, I do want to give you a couple advice. He goes, I'm going to give you a couple tips. He said, network marketing. He goes, I believe in it. He said, but you have to just keep showing up. Just don't stop showing up. And he said, the ones that show up, go up. And he told me that right away. And I hadn't read any books. So like, didn't know these things. And he said, you have to keep showing up. And he said, you have to, he goes, you have to know, what you're looking for. And so he gave me some tips on speaking, on talking. And then he said, and social media is king. And he said, your goals in social media is to post 3 times a day, inspirational, funny. He was, think about the person that you're most inspired by. They're educational, they're inspirational, they're funny. He said, that's like what you need to be on social media. So people can actually like feel who you are. And so I took that to heart, and I went home and I kind of like upped my game plan for actually like what I was going to do on social media. Anyways, to make a long story short on that part of it, I did, my whole main team came out of a networking meeting. So, like I didn't like and I have some more market level ones. I've, developed at least 5 level 1 jewels. I definitely have some more market level ones, but like I have cold market level ones, a lot of cold market level ones. Almost everyone I'm bringing into the business right now are people that I don't know. But at the beginning, it was face to face. I was going out and I was meeting these people. And I was networking and doing what it took and handing out business cards at grocery stores and getting to know people. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to go with my story, because it's, 10 years, you learn a lot of crap, but about 1 year into Plexus. So I did become a jewel about 1 year in. I worked super, super hard. I remember being silver, and I was silver. We were still broke, it's not like you're, changing like your life completely at silver. And we were still like financially super strapped, but I'd earned $400 in my first month. I went silver the last day of my 30 days. And I joined this time of year. This is the best time of the year to join. So like November 28th is when I joined 2012. And so I love this time of the year. It's like such a joke that it has to be a slow season. It does not have to be a slow season. I went silver during the season in December. So at the end of my 30 days, I went silver, and I was recruiting people in January from Ohio. And I brought in like probably 10 to 12 people, and like they were all excited. Testimonies were coming in, and my upline, my crazy upline Sonia, called me and she said, Michelle, she said, we have to go to Ohio. And I said, and I'm silver at this point, you guys. I'm not like, this isn't like senior Ruby, whatever. I'm silver. I had recruited about 10 people in Ohio, and she said, we have to go to Ohio. And I said, I don't have money to fly to Ohio, be away from my kid. Like, I can't do this. And she said, Michelle, you can't afford not to do this. This is where the momentum is. And so I told Tim that. And so we used my $400. We bought a plane ticket, and I went to Ohio. We planned 4 meetings around the state of Ohio, where all my people were joining. People that one was family. The other little group was people I had worked with. And I did 4 in-person events. And I turned gold on the way home from that trip to Ohio. And that wave of momentum probably brought me to almost to from that, we went back to Ohio almost every month. Either I would go or Sonia would go, and we fueled the flame. And I'm sorry, I've done that in about 3 different states, where I got a group of people that was joining, and I would go every month and fuel the flame, and we would take them all the way to Emerald. And so for me, in-person events became like my jam. And I would tell someone anytime that they got to gold, I was there. Like, that was my thing. Get to gold, I'm coming to your area. And I didn't care what level they were. Fire burns from the bottom up. If they're a level 4 and they're going gold, I'm going there. And I'm getting in the face of these people. So anyways, I got to Emerald. It was great. I had a lot of like waves of momentum along that journey. And then I hit Emerald, and the company changed a product that really was hugely successful. We had this old original accelerator at the time, and it was like basically like you never had to eat, and you were the skinniest you've ever been. Okay, so it was like this magic pill. Okay, it was crazy, but it had this ingredient in it that was like kind of dangerous. And your eyes twitched on it. So anyways, the company, thank God they did, but the company changed paths, and they said that they will never bring a product on that has any kind of risk with the FDA, FTC, and all those things, and that they were going in a complete gut health path. And, you know, at the time, this was devastating for me. I had built a business off of this product that people were really, really excited about. And then in the same month, they discontinued that product. I got alerted that somebody in my downline was recruiting 70, they had recruited 70 fake people. They had all this fraud. They were like bringing in like homeless people. They were bringing in people like with like all this like social security information. Like it was probably the biggest fraud to date Plexus has ever experienced. I lost 70 people in my upper levels in one day. The company did away with this thing. And then I had just went the month before to my first ever Plexus event, and it was Leaders Retreat. And I had listened to Eric Worre speak, and Eric Worre just knocked my socks off. Like his speech was like everything that I didn't want to hear before Plexus, but in Plexus, it was just like, it blew my mind and it inspired me. My husband was still working, but we were doing good. Like at the time we were making like 12 or 15,000 a month. That was my first Emerald check because he was like also building underneath of me, and he was like probably Ruby at the time. And I was just like, I got home from that thing and I just told him, I'm like, if I've done this mostly by myself, like what could we do together? His job it was kind of a dead end job. It was paying the bills, but it wasn't like anything that was like mind blowing, like something like a career. And so we like prayed about it. And so he quit his job. Okay. So this was the month before all this stuff happened. So he quit his job. And then the next month, the company changed a product. And then I lost 70 people in a day. And then I didn't even have a team page at this point. My upline, Sonia and Helen, ran this team page. It was tons of momentum. I plugged everybody into it. I was just gangbusters, doing my own thing, sending a lot of emails, like at the time, because, you know, times have changed, but we were doing emails at the time. And, and so they didn't like all the drama that was going on in the company. So they just shut their team page down like in a day. So I lost like all of my connection to people. A couple of my leaders left me at this point because they saw Sonia and Helen close their team page. So I had leaders left me. I lost 7 people in a day, and the company changed the product. And my husband had just quit his job. And so I like had like a complete mental breakdown. I told my husband, I said, and I was on like a trajectory to go diamond like soon. Like I was just like flowing to the top, you know, and everything came to like a screeching halt, like stop. Like it is stopped. Okay. Everything stopped. And so I sat my husband down and I said, like, you have to go back to work. Like, this isn't going to happen. This isn't working. And he like said something to me that day that like literally changed the trajectory of like all of my business. And he said, Michelle, we've already chosen success. Like we will figure this out. Like we've already chosen success. It like gives me goosebumps still and like makes me emotional. And so we sat down, we created this whole plan. Like what is our team? Like who do we represent? And that is when we created Rock the Pink. Rock the Pink has been our teammate name. I did a YouTube. We started doing Monday night. At the time it was Google Plus. It turned into YouTube, Facebook Lives. But for 7 years, we did a Monday Night Live Rock the Pink, and it was a game changer for us. We went to diamond on that. You know, it was like something from going from like completely stopped momentum, going backwards to going to the top of the company over the fact that we decided we had chosen success. And I had heard so many times, like in the 10 years, I had heard so many times like this statement, and I didn't understand it until I hit adversity in my business. But like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And this is what I believe, and I've seen it in my business so many times, that when you're ready, then you'll figure it out. No one's going to figure it out for you. You have the best leader ever. Megan Ashman's like top notch. But I'm just going to tell you, like, it's not enough to have an amazing leader. Like you have to believe it for yourself. You have to choose your own plan. You have to choose your own belief, and you have to run this thing like you are going to the top of the company because you believe you can do this. And for me, like I had to have those come to Jesus moments where I knew that this is what I needed to do. And this is what me going forward. And so from that moment on, I built my biggest business. I didn't need that crack product. You know, it was like, we still have, and I will say to this day, I could go on for, I literally got to like 2 points on my notes. Anyways, I can say to this day that momentum in the company and momentum in your upline doesn't determine momentum. I had this, you know, a few years ago, Bob Heilig was at our Emerald Extravaganza, and he and I had really connected. And so he went out to breakfast with just Tim and I. And so I got to spend like 2 hours with just him, like just talking, just like your friend conversation. And he said, the momentum is not determined. He said, no matter what kind of a company he's seen, he coaches a lot of people from different companies. It doesn't matter. He said, it doesn't matter like the products. It doesn't matter if the company's in momentum or not. You'll always find people in momentum in that company. And so I look at things now, okay, 10 years in, here's what I start to fear people do, because we didn't have a lot of things that you guys have now. You have the Apple Watch given to you, Nike shoes, they come out with a holiday collection and different things like that. And people will determine whether they're excited off of those kind of shiny things. Listen, I thought the holiday collection sucked this year. Okay. I'm just going to say it. Can I just say it? I thought it was like the worst holiday collection we've ever had. I just decided not to promote it. Does it determine my momentum in my team? No, we still have the triplex. We still have the reset. We still have my belief. We still have my dreams. Like, I'm not going to let my dreams be determined by any kind of disappointment that like the company does on one little aspect of their marketing plan. I just feel like so many people get really sidetracked by little things in their life, and they let it basically ruin like their own personal aspirations. And I'm going to tell you this right now, like I have like, thousands of people on my team. I don't need thousands of friends, like I'm an introvert. I already told you guys, I don't need thousands of friends, but for the sake of the dream, I'm friendly, like I do the things. I love them. I have great relationships. For the sake of the dream, I do a lot of things. And from the very beginning, if I was going to tell you, like, I don't know, just in the last like few minutes that we have to share, if I was going to tell you like some things that I really believe, is that every fear that everybody knows what they need to do. Like there's nothing, we're overtrained, we're overqualified, we're overeducated. We've been told all the things. Like I feel like we walk around personal growth junk, like we're literally gluttons. We have so much stuff in us. We're so fat with knowledge that none of that matters until we put it into action. Get skinny, start depleting all of that education and activity until you need to be fueled up again. And I feel like people get like super gluttonous on learning, and they stopped getting into action. But I believe that everybody knows exactly what they need to be doing right now. And if you're scared to do the things, then that's exactly what you need to run towards super hardcore. If you're afraid to do a live on Facebook or on Instagram, if you're afraid to do a story, you better do one tomorrow. If you're afraid to do an in-person meeting, if you feel like you have to be a certain rank to do anything, I joined Sonia Dudley as a silver. She told me she was going to the top of the company. The difference between joining someone at any rank, because no one cares. Nobody cares. No one knows what a gold is when someone joins under you. They don't know. They could believe you're a diamond. Nobody knows that. Like the only difference is your personal belief. I felt like I was joining a top leader in the company, and I was joining a silver ambassador, Sonia Dudley. And so your belief is what determines like what other people believe about you. And if your team doesn't know where you're going, then you're probably not going anywhere. Everybody should know where you're going, because they should have that belief, because they can see your passion, and they can see your belief, and they can see that you're moving forward, and that you're not going to let anything get in the way of your success. And that just means stepping out and doing things super uncomfortably and fearfully and all the things. So anyways, Megan, I don't even know like what else. If you want to we have like 5 minutes. Does someone want to ask a question or something?
Oh my gosh, so good. I'm getting like blown up in like 900 different chats. Like, we love Michelle. She's amazing. This is the best. This is so good. Does anybody have any questions for Michelle? So I think, we got just getting to listen to you speak. It's like, I feel like so many people, one, either feel like I'm not this type of person, so I'm never going to be successful. And, you've whatever made that not true, basically. And then two, I know I'm like a sucker for podcasts and books and personal growth and stuff like that. But what we're always saying is do the things that we're listening about and reading about, and putting it into action is the key. And I think so many of us can kind of like hide behind the personal growth. Like, oh, I did my work today. I read a chapter, but it's like, but what does that do for your business?
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions before we get kicked off? We've got 4 minutes. You guys can unmute. You guys can type in the chat. Say yes to something out of the box. Oh my gosh. That was so good. Everyone's like, we could listen to her for hours. Well, you can in Nashville. Go.
I feel like, a lot of people say that, like, that's not my personality. That's not who I am. But I feel like that's just been an excuse we believed, like, I think that, like, we can grow so much. So, like, I'm still an introvert, but like a lot of people don't believe that because of what I've pushed myself to do, but I still fuel privately, and so I think that we discount what we're capable of, because we want, our fears make us comfortable, like when you feel fear, it's there to protect you, like, oh, that's scary, don't do it, because you're comfortable not doing it. Like, fear is actually something that's like a blanket. Like, if you stay in your fear, that's very, very, very comfortable. But if you do things uncomfortable, it's amazing, like, what you can grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Holly, what did you do when you visited people, like in Ohio, for example? Well, I told my upline that I wasn't going to speak. Don't even make me say a word. So I didn't do anything. I had everybody that was there. We went to a Panera Bread, one went to a little church meeting, like, everybody just gathered prospects and their team and everything else. And we just shared, we shared product knowledge. We shared a couple testimonies. And then we shared the compensation plan. Like, back then, we literally shared the whole compensation plan. I'm not even going to lie to you. We shared how much money you made at each rank, and we shared it all. I think people are so fearful to talk about money. I did not join for the products. I promise you, I would have never joined for gut health. I had like 10 pounds to lose, and I could have eaten keto and lost 10 pounds. I didn't join for any of that. I had adult acne and my skin cleared up. I never hardly ever talk about my health testimony because it's nothing to write home about. But I know the products work. I mean, the products now, like the Reset Box, has changed my life. Like, I'm telling you, it like changed my thyroid levels. I've lost 12 pounds. I love it. Like, 10 years in, this is probably my biggest testimony to date. But I joined for the money. And you need to not be fearful of that. Number one reason people go on anxiety medication and people have divorce is because financial stress. And so if you think about that, then the number one reason we should be talking to people about what we do is the financial opportunity.
That's
anything else?
The anxiety and divorce. That's so crazy and so true. Like, I've never thought about talking about that side of it. It's like, here's the income opportunity. But I guess if you bring up things like, listen, like, this is why you guys are fighting at home. And if you think about it, it's so true. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
People have a story, and a lot of times, they're masking. If you think about when they come to you for their health issues, a lot of times they're masking, the real issues. They're talking about their stress, they're talking about their anxiety. If you start asking more deeper questions into who they are, tell me about your life, tell me your family. Most of the time it's like, I'm working 12 hours, I'm working overtime, my husband is doing this, he's in a job he's not passionate about. I mean, it comes back to a lot of financial stress. Not everybody is financially stressed. It could be other reasons, but a lot of times it is financial stress. And so you're trying to mask that issue, and they have no idea about the compensation plan that could actually really get to the root of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So true. Well, thank you so much. I think we're going to get kicked off here like any second, but I appreciate it so, so, so much. I know everybody is like, you'll probably get everybody following you here pretty soon. So I appreciate it, guys. Her and her husband are amazing. They've spoken about, what was that? The new compensation plan or something that you guys were on stage talking about and all that stuff. So super great, smart, awesome couple to follow. Thank you so much again, Michelle. We feel so honored that you took the time to speak to us, and yeah, go give her a follow and check it all out. Thank you again.